Hello friends! Happy New Year's Eve again. I thought I'd jump on here and show you a little recipe that I decided to make myself to have for lunches. Have y'all ever heard of the black bean and corn salad? I mean, there's all kind of variations for it. The reason my hair is looking so fabulous is because I have it pulled back for the making of this video. Anyhow, this is a variation of that recipe, and it's super good and easy to do. I'm going to quick show you all the things that we're going to be having in it. That chicken bouillon I just used to boil my macaroni noodles. We got some veg, some sauce, some seasoning, some fresh veg. That's what we're using. So this is a variation of the black bean and corn salad that includes pasta to make it like a bigger, goes further, like a, a pasta salad, obviously. So let me show you what we're doing. It's real easy, and you can make this however you would like and leave out or add in whatever ingredients you like. So I have I apologize if it's dark in here. My kitchen light is not the best. I have some celery that is pretty much on the end of its life cycle. So I'm going to use it up. It is really dark in here. I see that now, guys, but I think you can see it okay. I'm going to cut these little stalks down to where I like it, and then I'll give them a rinse. Obviously, I'm not going to use all of this celery because that would be a lot. Now, I know this seems like a lot of celery to be thrown out, which you cannot maybe tell, but it is kind of on the yellow and old side. It really isn't that old, but because I really probably don't know what I'm doing when I store vegetables in the fridge for very long at a time, you know, it doesn't take long until it gets kind of sad looking. So I'm going to quick get this ready for you guys. I don't know, for you who like to eat celery, if you put it in recipes, the celery leaves have a whole lot of good flavor. You can put it in salads, you can put it in soups, you can use it to make your veggie stocks. And then just throw away, you know, your leaves. That one's gross. This one is basically a goner too, although there's a few good leaves on here. Okay. So I'm going to quick rinse this off and put however much I want in it. So I originally came across this recipe, I don't even know, years ago, and it's basically you're putting black beans and corn, onions, few other things, and then you are adding a mixture of, I'm just going to chop this all, even though I'm not going to use it all. I'll save it for something else. A mixture of ranch. You could just do ranch. You could use ranch powder and some sour cream or mayonnaise. It's really however you like. I'm going to use probably about this much. That's probably almost a cup. I'll get those leaves in there because I like that. But I have tweaked it to make it kind of a southwest feel. We'll save the rest of this celery, guys. Southwest feel, a little bit of onion. I always use a sweet onion. So I add some chipotle, either powder. If you have the chipotle ranch dressing, you could use that. That would be even easier. And sometimes I do, but I don't this time. It's a little Southwest, as I said, inspired. And I like that, personally. You could leave out the southwestern pizzazz and just have a regular, creamy ranch kind of a situation going on. You don't need a lot of onion. What would be real good in this actually would be some red onion. I usually don't have red onion sitting around. I almost always have Vidalia or sweet onion, because that's what I use for most things. You can cut this up as big or small as you like. Don't get those peelings in there, friends. One thing I like about this is the longer it sits in the fridge, just like so many salads, the more flavorful it gets. So I'm just adding this as I go into my big mixing bowl. I'm using a small area of my kitchen right now because I cleaned my kitchen today, and I have clean dishes in my drying rack, and I have just boiled up some noodles for this salad, so my stovetop is, you know, also covered in stuff. Like I had said before, I like to add a little bit of the chicken bouillon in my pasta water when I'm making noodles for something like this. It just gives it some extra flavor. And yeah, so then you're going to have corn and black beans drained. At least rinse your black beans. You don't have to rinse your corn if you don't want to, but you don't need all that juice in there because you're not trying to have a watered down pasta salad. Now if you're making this for a crowd, obviously you could use a whole can. It's gonna last in the fridge for several days as long as you keep it, you know, covered up or in some sort of a dish with a lid. All right. I'm not going to add this whole. I'm going to go with about a half a can. Guys, I'll show you this in a minute. It's a little more than half a can. You can use any kind of beans you want. You don't have to use black beans. There's so many different kinds of canned beans that you can experiment with. Some of them, you know, chili beans, they're already seasoned, kind of spicy, so you could go that route too if you were going spicy. If it's the time of year where you have some fresh tomatoes around, I have used chopped up fresh tomatoes in this, and it's really good. But where I live in Ohio, trying to find fresh tomatoes is not really the easiest thing to do. I'm going to go with about a little around a cup of beans. Just about a cup. And, see? Corn, black beans, onion, celery. And I'm going to throw in a little carrot, which is not usually something I throw in. But, you know, the more veg, the healthier, right? That's the way I look at it. I'm just going to grate some. If you have some grated carrot that you bought at the store, then there's a step you don't need to do. I don't peel my carrots, guys. I just put the peeling and everything in there. Probably about a half a cup or so. And then I cooked up about 2 cups of macaroni noodles. I was actually going to use are they called the diddlinis, the little short, super short tube ones, except I, as it turned out, did not have any of those. This is a strainer that you can attach to your pan. Really a great find. I'm not going to use all these noodles. That is too much. I'm going to use about 2/3. 2/3 of my noodles, not 2/3 of a cup. So it's probably like a cup and a half or so, really. And then you just assemble. I've got some freeze-dried chives. You know, we're measuring with our heart, y'all. All right? I'm just adding those because I have them, so why not? Some fresh cracked pepper. I like a lot of pepper. Okay. A little bit of salt. Don't go too heavy. You know, you've got salt in your dressings, and if you salted your noodles in the pasta water. I like to add oregano, dried oregano, to anything that I have that is Mexican flavored. I've always done that. Little bit of cumin. You say cumin or cumin? All right, to your like, just a little bit. And then I've got this can of chipotle peppers and adobo sauce with a pop top. I love that. I'm not going to add the peppers. I am just trying to get, there's not too much, actually I'm going to add the peppers because the sauce is not too runny. You know how sometimes you get a little bit of sauce when you open these cans, and sometimes you get a lot? So, pull out my cutting board again. I'm going to get me, you're going to put in as much as you like as far as spice goes. I'm just going to use one. You want to chop that super fine. These do have seeds in them. So, if you've never worked with the canned chipotle peppers, they can be pretty spicy. So I would start small with however much you're going to add, and then go from there. Can always add more. Remember, I can't always take it out. All right. Now I'm ready to add my dressing. Woo. Got some ranch. I bought this ranch the other day. Have you guys tried this ranch? It's the Lighthouse Homestyle Ranch. A lot of times you'll see it in the actual produce section, the Lighthouse brand. I have used this a long time ago, but not recently. And I thought I would give it another whirl. This is the Homestyle Ranch. Now, remember, this has pasta in it. So use a good bit. This is probably at least 1/4 of a cup. That's where I'm going to start with. Stir this in. It's real colorful, guys. I'll show it to you here in a sec. You know what they say, the more color in your food, the better it is for you. That is what they say. Now, I'm going to add, guys, just a little bit of sour cream to mine. Like I said, you can use mayonnaise. That's probably 2 tablespoons. And stir that in. You know, it would be excellent in this if you had it, which, man, I wish I would have remembered, is some cilantro. Some fresh cilantro. I love cilantro. I know a lot of people have that condition where cilantro is supposed to taste like soap or something. That's the weirdest thing ever, isn't it? I don't actually know anybody who has that condition. But that would sure up this salad a lot. And I'm going to taste it. Let me show you first. Sorry about the light. Can you see? colorful.
You want to taste to see This is my spoon. This is my salad. Nobody's going to eat this but me. Because God forbid anyone in my family eat a vegetable. Okay? So I'm not worried about it at all. It needs a little something, something. A little garlic powder. A little onion powder. You guys, the other day my husband was making sausage gravy to take to our family get together for Christmas. And he doesn't cook too much. Honestly, hardly ever. So he's not as familiar, I guess you'd say, with the stove top and which burner buttons go with what. So he turned on one of the burner buttons that was underneath a bunch of my spices that I had sitting on the stove because I have not enough space for all of them, and burnt the bottom of my plastic bottle that the spice was in, so I had to throw that in the garbage. So I had to get some new ones. This is sugar. Controversial, I know, but I like just a little bit of sugar in most pasta salads, especially one that is, you know, pretty flavorful. I'm going to say about a teaspoon. Give this a stir. See where we're at. Probably need some more sauce. That's good. I'm going to add a little bit more sugar, guys. And you know what? If you're not a fan, or you have to watch your, what you eat, leave the sugar out. I mean, as I would say with anything, taste as you go. Before you add any sugar, taste it. You may think it's fine. Especially with something like this, everyone's, tastes are different. You might want more of one thing and less of another. That's real good, guys. You could easily, add a little more cumin. You could easily add some broccoli heads in this. It's just so filled with possibilities. Green peppers, any colored pepper would be great. If you were really into the spicy, you could add some chopped jalapeno peppers. I'm going to add just a splash or two of some chipotle Tabasco. You could always just get a chipotle ranch or a chipotle salad dressing of some kind, and if it's one of your favorites, you could just add that. You wouldn't have to go with all these different things that I'm adding. That's real good. I like it. I like it. Just a little more sugar. Guys, it's because the reason I'm adding so much sugar is that ranch, it's super good, but it does have a bit of a tang to it. More so than I think regular. And obviously the chipotle peppers, same. That's the ticket. Let me rinse my hands off and I'll show you. Over here in mine. Okay. I got a splash of that chipotle something. Spicy. All right, guys. Take you to the sink. You see that? So good. You could add cheese, shredded cheese, cubed cheese, whatever veggies you like. You could leave things out if you don't want them in there, or if someone has an allergy. So good. So good. This would be great with a, like a, what am I trying to say? You know, the corn that you can, that you have in street corn, where it's like smoked. What am I trying to say? Roasted corn. My gosh. Roasted corn or fresh corn, anything like that. Be really good, guys. Give this a try. Tell me what you think. Like I said, this will last in the fridge for several days. You'll probably have it eaten all up, even if it's just you, before it would go bad. Now, tomorrow, as this sits in the fridge, it's obviously going to soak up some of that dressing. I didn't go too crazy adding too much, because I can always, add a little more if I feel it needs it tomorrow or whenever, if I feel it's a little dry. So I hope that sounds really good to you, and I hope you'll give it a try. And I'll talk to you soon. Love you.